right. Welcome to Gen X Rated Saturday edition. Hopefully that wasn't too long for you, Billy.
Yeah, that was just right.
All right, excellent. Well, I could hear it this time, so that was certainly helpful. But how's your day going so far?
Going good, going good.
Excellent.
So, yeah, if you goes better if you block out some of the bullshit sometimes.
So stay off Twitter is what you're saying?
At least for a bit, yeah. Allow your blood pressure to come down. Maybe, burn off some of that cortisol that's coursing through your veins because you're so aggravated by the shit we're seeing. Just kind of let that pass.
All right, well, that's good advice for a Saturday. We had a nice little thunderstorm buzz through here really quickly, dumped a ton of water, and much needed, I might add.
Mhm.
We haven't had
Yeah,
a whole lot of rain,
been weeks.
and nobody can afford to water their grass, so it's it's a little brown around here.
Well, my next door neighbor keeps watering it. They have their sprinkler out every morning, and they're washing half my car for me.
Well, you're lucky.
Yeah,
Send a fruit basket, okay?
no, I will not.
Anyway, well, I appreciate you coming out on Saturday. We'll see how much of this we can do. Um, from Thursday to today, a whole lot of stuff's happening. A whole
Hmm.
lot of gaslighting, a whole lot more lies. Uh, the whole Kimmel thing's kind of blown up. And I
As it
don't know
should.
what, as it
As
should.
it should, yeah. That's an audacious step to take.
I just can't help but feel like a lot of this is just distraction, as we talk about, where we just use the term they like to flood the zone. And then while that's going on, anything from these visas to the gold cards to bombing another Venezuelan fishing boat with 3 people on it. While that's going on, they're consolidating the media. They're firing comics they don't like. They're, tightening up the laws and regulations for all of us. I mean, I'm sure you saw Hegseth's new announcement about journalists having to pledge not to use unauthorized material. Everything has to be approved at the Pentagon first. So you have to sign a pledge or you lose your credentials to report from the Pentagon. I mean, that is just bizarre.
Yeah, that's chilling. And honestly, why do you even bother reporting from the Pentagon? Because they're not releasing anything but lies anyway.
For
So
sure.
who cares? Lose your credentials, big deal.
Or they don't release anything. I saw a video from Puerto Rico, just home video of these giant planes, U.S. Army planes coming in. I mean, they're putting a lot of people in Puerto Rico so that they can do this Venezuelan thing. So you're not going to get that out of the Pentagon anyway. So what, like you said, why bother covering it? They do love putting up this video. They blew up another fishing boat. Takes away from the Epstein files, which we're not going to want to release, calling them narco terrorists. And, on my orders, Secretary of War ordered a lethal kinetic strike. I mean, this guy's so cosplay. It's ridiculous. These narco traffickers. Meanwhile, it was not a drug boat. I can almost guarantee that. It just sounds so stupid.
Yeah, no, the cartels aren't smuggling drugs in on tiny fishing boats. No, yeah, that's not a thing. Not a thing.
But it does give them pretext for getting into Venezuela and routing all that construction or all the narco traffickers out. I mean, it's just, again, this giant distraction. It's just crazy.
It really is. It's insane.
So, yeah, the thing that tripped me up was the Secretary of War comment. It's going to cost $1 billion to change everything from the Defense Department to the Department of War. I mean, it's just like we spend frivolously on the dumbest shit. Yet we don't have health care. Yet we don't have decent paying jobs. Yet we don't have fill in the blank.
Hmm.
Education.
Yeah, it's obscene. That's pretty much the only way I can phrase it. It's just obscene to be pissing away money on this bullshit so some fake tough guys can stroke their ego when you literally have, people going without.
Yeah, fake tough guys. I love that, Billy.
Hmm. You know who the
Yeah,
tough guy is or the tough person? It's the person that gets up every day and goes through this shit and does their job and remains a good person, it's the person that, is working full time, maybe two, maybe three jobs just to put food on the table for their kids. It's the single mom that is sacrificing and going without and busting her ass. That's the tough guy, not some fucking overprivileged asshole or some jackbooted thug all dressed up in his, combat outfit, pushing around women and children and pepper spraying people that have done absolutely nothing. Yeah, no, the tough guy is the guy, is the person, man, woman, child, who gets up every day and overcomes the odds and keeps pressing forward, regardless of the fucking hurdles that are continually being put in front of them now.
Yeah, you're right. And then, as your point about taking care of the house as well, how much info do you share with young children or teens that might be in your household? Or, it's really going to be affecting them. But, how much of this can you really put on their plate when we as adults are still trying to figure this out? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
I want to put this statistic up, and it's a different world for these kids today. We had 3 networks, as we talked about. But this shows in 1983, 90% of the media was owned by 50 companies, 50. 2012, 90% went to 6 media giants. As of 2024 now, it's owned by 5 companies. So 5 companies own our media. They're going to tell you what you get to hear, what you get to listen to, and what you should be thinking, I guess.
Well, we've seen how quickly they'll kowtow to authority.
Yeah, pretty quickly. And you saw there is some pushback on Kimmel. And it's bigger than Kimmel, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy. I saw KK Caroline today talking about the TikTok deal. And they have 7 seats on their board. 6 of them will be Americans from the great United States of America, because she just can't say anything without all of it. The data and privacy will be led by Oracle. Who's in control of Oracle? Anybody we've heard of?
Mm-hmm. The man who is temporarily the richest man in the world until Elon came back and reclaimed that title. But yeah.
Yeah, that's Teal, and he's a big JD Vance fan. And then the algorithm, she said, will be controlled by the U.S. So basically, they're trashing TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
TikTok did it to themselves to be able to stay relevant in this country by not putting fascism and stuff up that's going to be warranted and upsetting of this regime. But now that you take over 6 of 7 seats and you control content and you control your privacy, which that's out the window for all of us now anyway, and the algorithm, why even go on there? What's the point?
Yeah, they ruined it. They trashed it. That's a shame.
It is, because it was one of my favorite guilty pleasures to go check out some, I don't know, fill in the blank.
Well, and there's some really talented, interesting people, putting up a lot of great content, and that's all going to go away now because they're just going to, blast us with propaganda and lies.
Yeah, and I hate to bring up your buddy Jeff Pearlman, but this is a guy that's written several books. He's clearly left-leaning, but he puts out a nice message often on TikTok, and this is somebody that, maybe you're not going to see there anymore. And this is an accomplished person. As to what I'm trying to make the point is, it's different. With the kids today, their sources for social media, their sources for news and information, totally different than what we grew up on. But even that's changing just in this brief time of a decade. They would be on TikTok now. Who knows? Who knows where you're going to be able to find any kind of truth anymore? And it's the plan, right? I mean, They want you guessing.
Yeah, they want you off balance. They want you in the dark, and more importantly, they want to keep people from banding together too.
Yeah, no organizing. That's a real problem. So Trump went on a rant demanding that 97% of the coverage on network television is negative on him. He wants all their licenses, TV networks get their license canceled. I mean, he's just kind of out of his mind. And then his rationale is that his popularity level and the votes that he got were so over the top amazing that why would they even question him?
Yeah. Okay, Peepaw.
It's just crazy. I will say the quote from Teddy Roosevelt, which is that patriotism means to stand by country. It doesn't mean to stand by the president. We're losing sight on this on many levels. That we're focusing mainly because we're bombarded with this president that can't stop talking. He looks terrible. I don't know that he's in control here. I feel like he's got a bunch of handlers, and that's the powers that be. He's just a giant distraction.
Yeah, he is. He's a walking, talking, farting distraction. But like, and I'm certainly not a doctor or authorized in anything like this, but we've seen people that suffer from dementia. They get nasty. They get downright just mean because all the filter is the part of their brain that filters out. Is this a nice thing to say? Maybe I shouldn't say this. That's gone, and they're just off and running. They're riffing.
Yeah, unfiltered. Yeah, we had a relative that was older, and the things that she would say were really offensive to most. But she had lost her filter. As to your point, I did want to say that the judge did toss out Trump's lawsuit for $15 billion against the New York Times because it's just ridiculous nonsense.
Most of his lawsuits are. I mean, the one that ABC caved in on with Stephanopoulos, that would never have had any merit. But again, it's why are you preemptively bending the knee?
Well,
corporate interest overall, I guess.
And who owns the? Now we talk about 5 companies that own it. Of course, you want a deal done, you better be nice to this guy, and that's basically what Disney did ahead of the curve.
It's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic.
And they want to bring all these local stations together so that they can do their shtick of just trying to brainwash as many people that listen to that garbage as they can. It's too much.
Well, I mean, dude, you look at local news, there's very little news on there. It's mostly just stories to scare old people and weather.
I do like the weather, but you're right, it's terrifying, honestly. Local news, a little scary.
And then again, with most of these affiliates, it's a lot of it is just prepackaged garbage that Sinclair wants to put out. So, I mean, I haven't watched local news for fucking decades because it may be local, but there's very little news.
There's a Brendan Carr. This is the FCC chair who's going to tell you what you can watch and what you can't watch.
He looks like the Great Gazoo.
Trump called him a great patriot, so that he's
the Great Gazoo.
Probably a terrible person.
He looks like a terrible person. He looks like the world's worst boss.
That's probably true too. Here he is as well, and this gives you an idea. We used this photo months ago, but here's that stupid pin of Jughead.
I mean, I can imagine the people that work with him being like, you're the only one wearing that pin, right? Maybe tone it down a little bit.
It's just crazy.
We're not wearing that anymore, Brendan.
And if it had a little crown on it, like Jughead from the Archies, I might be more into it. But
that's probably coming next. The limited edition.
Limited edition, yes.
Yeah, these people are fucking ridiculous.
They are crazy. It's too much. I don't even want to talk about the Hegseth thing. I did want to move on to yesterday where Trump had his meeting of the minds. Let me put this photo up with Lutnick. Howard loves to yuck it up, that's for sure.
It's funny you call that a meeting of the minds. There's very little mind power going on there.
Yeah, I would agree. There's Trump. There's the Trump gold card.
Oh, yeah. Get that while it's hot, baby.
Well, and it's funny because this is the 3rd rendition of this card that's come out. It's basically a green card if you have money. An individual who can make a significant financial gift of $1 million will get this card. If you can do $1 million personally or $2 million through a sponsoring corporation, then you can get this card. You get in free. We don't care what you do. You have money. We love you. And that's kind of
maybe you're a Saudi national and you want to kill a journalist. Hey, come on in. Or maybe you just want to bring in a bunch of hijackers and teach them to fly. Well, that's fine. You paid your $1.5 million to Donald Trump, so have at it.
We ain't stopping you. They did have to bring the Trump card down quite a bit because nobody seems that interested in it. It seems kind of stupid. Trump feels that only the most exceptional talent will qualify. So basically, your worth equals talent. So if you come from a really wealthy family, but you're a dumb shit, you're still talented because you have money. That's the only qualification with these people is to have cash, and this is it. So Lutnick said, "Hey, we don't want these workers coming in here. We want people with big money that'll build businesses and hire Americans." Like that's the plan.
So you want people to come in and build businesses, probably getting government subsidies to get started, because that's how this works, and then pay Americans substandard wages to, yeah, got it. Okay. Well, we can tell where you're coming from, Howie.
You better be careful because you sound like you know too much.
I know, right?
Just warning you. It gets worse. So the big news with Howard yesterday as well, and they love to read out these executive orders. Trump looks to the side, pretends like he knows what they're talking about. He doesn't care, doesn't matter. But he signs them because, executive orders are like law to him, which is stupid.
Which isn't true, but.
So the H-1B work visa used to be probably about $5,000. It's to bring highly skilled foreign workers to the U.S. for jobs that are deemed too difficult to fill locally. Since 2012, 60% of those jobs have gone to computer-related jobs. So it's really big in Silicon Valley. Apparently, you can't train dummies here to figure any of that stuff out. So they want this visa to be, it used to be about $5,000 that they would have to pay. Now it's $100,000. So if you want to hire a worker who is skilled from a foreign country, it's going to cost you $100,000 to do this. It kills global competitiveness. It reduces our ability to innovate and grow the economy. I mean, it's really stunting to all of us Americans that are already here. The people that aren't here, don't worry about it. We have a shortage coming up with doctors. We talked about this again months ago, where they capped how much loans you can take to be a lawyer, to be a doctor. They capped it at $50,000 a year, 4-year program, $200,000. It's more than that. So you're driving people out. We already have this shortage in the pipeline of physicians. This is going to make it worse. None of this helps. And just as an example, 30% of residents doing their internship at medical schools are H-1B visa members. 10,000 of 43,000 residency spots are also filled by H-1B visas. So now you're looking at a hospital has to pay $100,000 to allow this resident to come in, and they pay them $55,000 a year. You wouldn't do it. There's no benefit.
Well, and work ungodly hours a week.
Sure, but they're capable. Apparently, we're not capable.
That's what I don't understand. The only thing I can think is that they just do not want an educated middle or lower class. I mean, we know someone very well who came from nothing and worked their way up to becoming a very successful surgeon, because there were grants, right? And it took this person a long time to pay off those med school bills, but they did. And this person is an excellent doctor, extremely dedicated to their patients, to their craft. And then we know another one who comes from a wealthy family, fucking basically just kind of bounced along through, made mediocre grades, wanted credit for something that this person didn't do. But that kind of tells you the contrast, right? Between the person that really has a desire to do this and is willing to work their ass off and just needs the help, the loans, and it's not a gift. These were loans that they paid back for years, right? Yeah. And the kid whose dad can write a check for med school. Yeah, this is great. Oh, I like it. Okay. Oh, 5 o'clock. I'm out of here. I'm going home. Oh, somebody's call. A patient needs me in the middle of the night. You know what? Send that call to this service. I'll get around to it later. To
your point, it is a different perspective, but I think it really comes down to, in that scenario, the care. You when you come from Linton Buttons, you see a lot, you experience a lot, you see other people experiencing things, and it pulls on your heartstrings, however you want to phrase it. You have that empathy, you have that care to give. People don't generally go into medicine unless they have that. And we've been talking about this for weeks. The special nurses that it takes to work in a cancer unit, or end of life, or hospice, or fill in the blank, the care that they give these people. and a lot of these people can't take care of themselves. Um, it's a horrific situation when you can't do for yourself and you need to depend on somebody else. But these nurses that we've run into have been extremely delightful in their care, and it's appreciated generally by the families, by the patient, etc. When you come from a different background and you don't see that and you don't experience it and you don't have that within you, you're giving a different type of care.
Well, yeah, and you have a different perspective. And I'm not trying to paint everybody with the same brush. I'm just saying, in my experience, there's people that do it because they really have a desire to make a difference. They're dedicated to it. They want to help people. And there's people that want to do it because they like having that MD after their name. It's respectable. It opens the doors to, get into the right clubs and know the right people. And it's, social status, which, who would you rather have operating on you?
For sure. And to your point on the tough guy, that tough guy gets up every day and goes to work, even if it's the most challenging case, or they have people that are coming back that are going to need, extended care, whatever. They show up every day, and that can't.
Yeah,
be
they do. Or they get up in the middle of the night because, they're on call and they've gotten a page and they need to go in there, even if they've just come off, a full day.
Sure.
Yeah, those are the tough guys and ladies. And
we don't respect them though, because it's all about the money. If you're a poor doctor, even if you're doing family medicine and making less than $100,000, you don't really count. To your point on education, I want to pop this lady up because she is a beaut.
Oh yeah.
But this ties in with work. Her big thing is we're going to go all in on AI, and we're going to learn from AI and AI this and AI that, and fire this person, fire that person. She doesn't seem all that qualified to me. Maybe she's great in entertainment. Maybe WWE was amazing, but Linda McMahon just doesn't seem to me to have the aptitude to push us into the future of education. To that point, reading levels and math skills of seniors fell to the lowest level in 2 decades. This statistic came out in 2024. The average reading since 1992 is 10 points lower. Math is the lowest it's been since they started testing for math, which was in 2005. They talk about chronic absenteeism. Some of that was with the pandemic, but a lot of it's apathy too. These kids are missing 3 or more days a month, which doesn't seem like a lot, but all you're being asked to do is go to school and get an education. You're not going down to the belt plant and doing whatever.
Not yet, anyway.
Well, that comes with this education that's falling into the toilet because KK Caroline says we need electricians, we need plumbers, we need people on the factory floor. So,
well, here's something, and she may not be aware of this because, getting the whole story on anything before she speaks is really not in her wheelhouse. But we actually know somebody who's going through a plumber apprenticeship program, and they still, after working a full day, they still have to take classes. And, one of those courses is trigonometry.
Wow.
Dude, I never made it through that. I mean, so you can't be a completely uneducated person and do that. Electrician, dude, those are hard words. Those are skilled labor positions. Those aren't for any dummy off the street. I mean,
regulator.
I'm just saying, man, you need to know what you're doing in both of those cases. And to be a union plumber, you need to take these courses, and it's not easy.
And if you don't, as an electrician, you zap yourself and die.
Mm-hmm.
That is a physically draining job. I feel like when she talks about plumber, she thinks it's about just digging a hole or something.
Digging a hole, plunging out a toilet or a backed up sink. Yeah, she has no clue. Are you kidding me? She's never worked a full day in her life.
Well, she'll tell you she works every day under this great president of the United States of America.
That's right. Working to make the country better with the great president. Jesus.
So
I can't even.
With this education system, they spend less time learning, which, we were all raised to get as much information as you can. I mean, knowledge is power type of thing. Mm-hmm. So you have less kids taking less time learning. On top of that, lack of consistency showing up. So these teachers, which we blame because they're probably left leaning, they have to keep reteaching material because kids miss lessons, right?
Oh, well, here's the thing, man. There's a teacher, and she's young. I think she's still in her 20s that I follow on TikTok, Miss Dugan.
Mm-hmm.
She's extremely entertaining, but she posted something. I don't know if it was from today or from yesterday, but just saying she is emotionally numb. She's like, I've been around these kids teaching, teenagers for, 7 years now. And, they ask me how come, when they say legit funny things that have the whole classroom laughing, they're like, how come you're not laughing? Don't you think it's funny? She's like, I'm just fried. She's like, I'm emotionally numb.
Yeah.
And to hear somebody whose videos are always very entertaining, very lighthearted, and just downright funny, having a serious moment and saying what she's going through after just 7 years of teaching in public school.
I know, but we don't give support. These people have to
No,
buy
we don't.
school supplies, and they have to always account for themselves. Like, what are you doing? And then the parents, we give them carte blanche to just come in and destroy classrooms with their bad attitudes and how smart little Timmy is.
Or the school administration or the school boards.
Yeah.
And not to mention the fact that a lot of these kids have problems paying attention due to, heavy cell phone use. We talked about that a while ago.
Sure.
That, they would rather not go to school at all than give up their cell phones. So, I mean, you've got a perfect storm.
Yeah. Well, it's a little bit terrifying.
It's a lot
Matt,
terrifying.
what are some of the reasons that you just brought up? Screen time, smartphones. They have less dealing with any kind of engagement because you're on your phone. We're not having any social skills in that part of it. And then rolling back like test accountability. So if you're not held accountable, that D's get degrees, whatever. We just don't really care. And that becomes a problem. So this sample size was pretty big. It was about 20,000 people on the math side, about 25,000 people on the reading side. And this is all in the last more than a decade of information. So it's not just, the pandemic skewed this, because it really didn't. That's why we privatized. We want to get rid of the Department of Education. We don't need that for regular people. Listen, the people that they'll send their kids to private school. They'll send their kids to Catholic school. They'll support what they want their kids to be educated on. But to have a wide open public school education where you learn social studies and history and math and science and, and sometimes even kitchen work, we took home ec, which I thought was fantastic. You learned learn to type, which I guess there's no typewriter, but you're still on a computer.
That skill might be, maybe no more need for that class, but you learn to cook, I learned how to sew a button on,
Nice.
how to sew a zipper. I mean, you learned these skills, but more importantly, as you got older, you learned critical thinking.
Very
You
true.
learn to, discern, to maybe not believe blindly everything you're hearing, to check your facts, to be able to put things together, to come to a conclusion that makes sense. But that's not what these people want. They don't want people that are thinking for themselves, that can think critically, that can parse, what they're saying and figure out, wait a minute, this is wrong. They want people that'll blindly follow. They'll be like, okay, well, if it's on the internet, it's got to be true. Or if, Trump said it, I'm sure it's true.
Yeah.
And that is just, that's not good for society at all.
No, it's a real loser. And we're seeing it in real time.
Well, we are. And here's the crazy thing. And I was just thinking about, and test scores have gone down in math. How about the writing skills?
Oh my God. Have you seen your writing, Billy? Have you seen your writing lately?
I don't mean just my handwriting. I mean the ability to put sentences together into, a cogent paragraph or a cogent argument or anything.
It's what ChatGPT's for. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's sad. But you take that a step further and you look at these texts that they released from the supposed assassin. No 22-year-old texts like that. They don't use oh my love. Well, the squad car. No, they'd say fucking cop car.
Yeah.
It's not plausible. It's not plausible at all. It's probably written by a 40-something FBI peon.
Grok thought it was a bot, but go ahead.
It probably was a bot, because I guarantee you no 22-year-old texts like that. I mean, Jesus Christ.
You didn't do it, did you? I did it.
Yes, I did. Look underneath the keyboard, my love. Here's a full confession, everything that they'll need to frame me and put me away.
Well, and to your point, Tyler Robinson, NBC, much to their detriment, I'm sure, moving forward, no tie into this shooter to the left wing, anything for that.
Anything. And if I'm this kid, I'm probably pretty pissed that they're painting me as somebody who is into furry porn.
Yeah,
That might be the most offensive part.
they led with that. Not into furry, uh, not gay, not anything that you're projecting on this kid. And I don't even know that he was the shooter, frankly. I mean, it's such a
I
muddy.
don't know, man. There's a lot of things that I've seen that really make you wonder. I mean, somebody did a demonstration of what a 30-06, I think, bullet from 200 yards away does to a head, using one of those models that they create for ballistics testing. And it exploded the head. It wasn't like a neat little pinhole. It was,
I
yeah, that
saw
head
the
was gone.
Yeah, and I saw the watermelon, the same thing. Interestingly enough, all the videos, and I'm sure you and I have watched very similar ones, they're all from like ex-military, uh, red cap people now. They know a ton more about guns, obviously, than I do, but they're really trying to dumb it down for the average person to like, hey, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I know guns. I know this type of ammunition and this rifle. This is what you get from so far away. I mean, they're being super scientific about it and just trying to present it. And all I'm saying is it's not NPR, it's not PBS putting this stuff out there. This is generally guys that I follow that are not on my side of the aisle, which is fine. I don't care.
Yeah, and maybe there are some things that we can actually agree on. What we do know is that Charlie Kirk was, all in favor of releasing the Epstein files.
He's dead.
Charlie Kirk was not a friend of Netanyahu.
No.
So, the fact that they offered him 120 million, come to Israel, take a little trip, we'll give you 120 million, and he refused. I mean, there's just some things there that really make you wonder, and there's some things we can agree on. I think, whatever side of the aisle you're on, we need to see the Epstein files. What are you hiding? If you're not in there and you have nothing to hide.
And why are they trying so hard to hide it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be bad.
It's got to be really bad. So, there's just a lot of things that you can question. But again, we don't want to raise, younger generations of people that question and want to know, examine the facts. We want people that are going to blindly follow and march in lockstep.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
That only works for so long, French Revolution, with the wealth inequality.
That never ends well.
Yeah. And speaking of which, and this is just a microcosm of everything that we're dealing with, but interesting topic on transgender and the assault on the transgender folks. After this last election, a lot of transgender people were seeking asylum in other countries. And some people thought that was overreactionary. Hey, what's going on? Like, really, you're that fearful of persecution? And yes. Rightfully, the Netherlands was accepting of some. Canada's also looking into it. It was brought on to the Netherlands radar. So they did their own research. They were like, this seems kind of odd. We have 4 people here that are seeking asylum based on persecution. Like, what's going on, and why would this be? Then you start doing the research, and you see that just since 2022, we've had hundreds of thousands of people, transgender, just moving within America to avoid some of the laws. I know that I know some people in my state that moved to the state over because they weren't going to put up with, we're not doing panty checks for sports. We're not, fill in the blank. It's been pretty awful. So at first they think it's extreme. Then you start doing the research on, hey, what exactly is going on there? Well, let's just look at some of the crackdowns with this current administration or regime. Mace with her bathroom bans, putting up signs, being offensive.
He is so hateful.
Yeah, using derogatory terms to call somebody out. With Jewish people, it might be the K word. With transgender, it's the T word. Like, why are you being so belligerent and rude about a bathroom? And it was the person in Congress that won. They have their own bathroom.
Yeah, they all have their own bathrooms anyway. So unless you're, why are you sticking your nose into somebody else's bathroom? Seriously. What's your problem? And for the record, nothing for nothing, Mace looks like a man. So I'm sorry. Just my observation.
Yes. Just to add to that list, healthcare, restrictions on hormone therapy, or fill in the blank. I'm not really astute as to what the demands are in transitioning, but again, any kind of medical care, no. Athletes, you know, we had 9 people participated in college athletics. That Riley Gaines is still upset that she tied for 5th place. But when she's on Fox, she talks about how she was one of the fastest swimmers in the country. I mean, world. I mean, now it's
you weren't that fast.
A list from Trump where I'm the first person that's ever been invited here, first president ever. What an honor.
Yeah.
You're actually the 9th, but okay.
Making shit up.
Military ban on transgender. They're trying to propose now about gun restrictions for transgender. They also are looking to block obtaining passports for transgender. So this is a laundry list.
It is. The passport thing I don't get. So you want to take away their rights, but you don't want them to leave. What are you saying? You just want them to stay here and be bullied until you decide you're going to finally take the next step towards your final solution? I mean, this is fucking horrific. But not too long ago, I read something about Nazi Germany and the Holocaust. And, there were some Jewish people that saw the writing on the wall and left. There were others that stayed. And they basically, the point of the article was there were optimists and pessimists. The pessimists got the fuck out and survived, and in some cases thrived. The optimists, well, this will blow over. This isn't who we are. Yeah, no, it didn't end that well.
Yeah.
And so, for trans people, it's almost getting to that point for any of us, because it's starting to feel like nobody is untouchable unless you're a white Christian nationalist billionaire.
Yes.
That it might be time to be a pessimist.
You might be right. And that's terrifying. So that whole list just basically adds up to the interlocking system of oppression. And you can apply that to any group. We start here. We're including Hispanics. Next, we're going to go after, again, fill in the blank. What's next? That train is always on time, but who's it coming for next?
Yeah, and the Holocaust wasn't just Jews. It was homosexuals. It was trans people. It was
retarded.
Well, they started with them. Yeah, it was gypsies. It was anybody who they felt had a degree of intelligence that could question or push back. So yeah, I mean,
so we say this message of oppression. Obviously, the word itself isn't something that we all champion for. But my point is, you keep flooding this information out there. Last night, Washington State, there was an attack. You had 1 adult, 3 teens. One of them was a 16-year-old that attacked a transgender woman, left her hospitalized. They chased her down. They beat her. They saw her supporting a group. And then when they ran into her later, they took it upon themselves to do this. Now, you're talking about teenagers and an adult. 16, you can be tried as an adult if you commit a crime, depending on what it is, specifically murder. But my point is, you put enough of this out here, and then people rationalize that it's okay. Oh, it's okay to beat up on this person because the red hats don't like it. Oh, it's okay, this person's black, or it's okay, this person's Hispanic. You're putting it out there, and all of it is bad for all of us, not just that group, because eventually your group number is going to come up too.
Yeah, that's pretty much how this works. We've seen this before, historically.
Yes, and I'm not really interested in that coming back. I think it's a terrible
thing.
No,
and it's horrifying and terrifying how quickly this has gained momentum here in this country, where it's always been, well, that can't happen here, but it can, and it's happening faster than you would have thought.
Yeah, and then put it on again, like the distraction. So we're going to worry about that while Russia's bombing the crap out of Ukraine.
Yeah.
Last night they had 600 drones and missiles flying over Poland, as well as Estonia, over their airspace. I mean, this is unprecedented and brazen, is how it was listed by the Foreign Ministry of Estonia. They were 12 minutes in the airspace. They asked Trump about it. He says, big troubles for Russia, maybe. Well, what do you think about it? Well, I don't love it. But then he turns around and says, hey, we don't care about this war. We're making money off it. They're buying, NATO's buying weapons from us. So again, it's the cash thing that we don't care about. Meanwhile, Russia's violating the sovereignty of Poland and Estonia.
Mhm.
And what do we decide to do? It was announced today, and we've talked about this before of them doing it. We're pulling back from NATO. So we're partially halting military assistance to the Baltic nations and NATO states that border Russia. I mean, it couldn't be any clearer who this president's working for. I mean, let's be
Yeah.
honest. You have Republicans in the Senate and the House that feel like he's a patsy for Russia. I mean, it's pretty
And
blatant.
yet they won't speak up because you've got Republicans in the Senate and the House that are actual patsies for Russia. Ron
Yeah.
Johnson, I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
Lindsey Graham, what were you doing in Moscow on the 4th of July that year? I mean, yeah, there's a whole group of them, and it's just sickening.
It is. It's really gross. So again, they start with one group, they move on to the next group, and again, it's all distractions. And why are they really flooding the waters so bad now? It all comes back to the Epstein stuff you can't hide, stuff that's incredibly over the top that people did that they should be condemned and frankly beaten for. There's no excuse involving children. Kash Patel took his money and he can say whatever he wants to support this regime. But you'd have to be a grade A moron to think that this stuff doesn't go on and hasn't gone on and wasn't going on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they had the guy that gave the sweet deal, Alvarez. He was under Trump. He made the deal. He was in front of the Senate House committee, and he was pretty shifty. He didn't have a whole lot to say. Wasn't going to give a whole lot. But this has been going on long enough that there's so much evidence to all of this. Just let us decide. I think that's fair.
Yeah, if you've got nothing to hide, put it out there, because that's what they always say. Well, if you're not guilty, why do you need to have the First Amendment or the
Why do you care that camera's in your bedroom?
Yeah, or why do you have to invoke the Fifth? If you've got nothing to hide. So hey, I'm sure you're all squeaky clean. So let's get it out there.
Maybe not a great example. I think Trump on his trial invoked the Fifth 40 sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he had something to hide. I don't know.
Could be allegedly, but we won't know until they release the files. So let's find out.
Yeah, and just a final tie into your groups coming next. Alligator Alcatraz. The Miami Herald's been doing a deep dive on where these people have gone that were taken to this facility since it was under court order to close. And they're finding out that once they release these people, many of them are just disappearing. There's no trace of where they could go. Some that have paperwork that says they were sent to California, there's no record of them in California. Mm-hmm. So the numbers are 2/3 of the 1,800 men that were detained in July couldn't be found. I mean, that's a giant swath of people. 800 of them aren't even in the ICE database, and 450 of them don't have a location listed at all. That's 1,250 people out of this 1,800 that, I don't know. And if you're going to shrug your shoulders, maybe leave them alone.
Yeah.
If they're innocent folk just being swept up.
Yeah. I mean, where are they? And where are the homeless people that you cleared out of DC?
No idea.
And I saw
cleaner, but DC's cleaner. You can eat out every night. Jesus. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh, I saw a story that it was only reported locally. It happened, I think, in Minnesota, where a group of people shot up a homeless encampment. A bunch of people.
Sure, why not?
What the fuck? How sick and twisted and how sad must your life be when you decide to go out and shoot up a bunch of people who are just trying to live because, most likely through no fault of their own, they've become unhoused. And, I'm guessing that the people that did this are probably 1 or 2 paychecks away from losing their own home, or else they're living at home with mommy and daddy.
Perhaps.
But just again, empathy has become a dirty word to these people now. And, to not realize that, a major illness, a job loss can set you back, and it can put you out from under your roof.
Well,
And you're living in your car, you're living in a homeless encampment, because this is Trump's America now.
well, and I just wanted to add, and it's maybe a little bit off base, but when you talk about the homeless people, and yes, oftentimes I've fallen on hard times. I've lost my paycheck. I've lost my fill in the blank, my health care. I have schizophrenia. It could be a mental health thing. But there was a gentleman in a podcast I just listened to where this kid, his parents, long story short, the kid was a psychotic murderer, and he wanted to see what it was like to kill somebody. And he picked this homeless person who lived in a tent. This homeless person had a job. That's how they knew he was missing, because he didn't show up to work. People around town loved him. He was educated. He was well read. He just wanted off the grid. So he lived in a tent in a park and went about his business. And the whole town knew him, and nobody had a problem with him. And I guess my point of the story is that he chose to live that way. He was a voracious reader. When his downtime was down, that's what he was doing, hanging out and reading in his tent. And during the day, he was working and very helpful to a Hispanic woman. So you can't judge based on somebody's situation.
No.
I've seen enough of Dar Man, those horrible videos, to know. Try and be nice to people. And as you said, the empathy is not a showing of weakness. If anything, it makes you stronger. It doesn't make you look like a wuss. It doesn't make you look like you're not a tough guy. It's about having that special something inside that you can relate to people that aren't at their best. It's not asking too much to have some understanding and compassion for people that life happens, and bad things happen to good people all the time.
Yeah, and tough guys and tough women don't punch down.
For sure. That's a low-lying fruit type of thing. So to see them going after these homeless camps, you don't know why people are there. I don't think anybody would choose to live that way unless, like this gentleman, that was his desire. And if that is so, leave him alone.
Yeah.
He certainly didn't deserve the ending that he got for doing that thing.
Yeah, no, I hope this kid, I hope he gets the full weight of the justice system.
And he will be tried in his adult. The sad part is he was a mental health person too. He was pretty proud of wearing 3 sets of gloves and his dealing with the cops and stuff. He thought he was smart. Basically, he was a stupid kid, and I don't blame the parents. I'm just saying this is another instance where maybe better healthcare and care for somebody's mental health might have spotted this a little bit sooner before this tragic issue.
Yeah.
But some people can't be saved, and some people just don't have it. That's why psychopaths and serial killers are so good at passing a test. What is it called? Take a polygraph test, because they don't feel it, they don't see it, they don't see that anything they did was wrong. You're going to pass that test.
Oh, yeah, it's the Costanza rule. Remember, if you truly believe it, it's not a lie, Jerry.
That's right.
So, yeah, there's a lot of that going around. And, hey, being a narcissistic psychopath will not prevent you from
being president.
Being president or finding a place in the Senate or the House. So, yeah, the sky's the limit, baby.
Good point. And I just I had everybody feels differently. We talked about those 2 kids, Trey Reed and Corey Zukatis in Mississippi, that were lynched. I went through as much information as I could find. The comments are pretty disturbing from people. You guys are fools. These are lies. Nobody actually wants to talk on this story. But part of my happy ending was the fact that Kaepernick is paying for a second autopsy on these kids. The family doesn't believe that they hung themselves, where they were found, etc. Yeah, the authorities say one thing, but again, it's about doing the research. And I'm glad that it takes a celebrity sometimes, and I would call Kaepernick that person, and the want for justice to let's flush it out. Maybe these comments are right, and I am a fool, but I would like to know, because it seems a little suspicious. And wouldn't you rather know and get justice than just assume and have no justice for the family?
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people just want to sweep things under the rug. Oh, it's fine.
Well, it's Mississippi. He was black. Who cares?
They must have hung each other. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, certainly not. So That's something to keep on the radar, and props to Kaepernick. I know he was going to have a Spike Lee series was going to come out and do a little documentary on him, but Disney hence canceled that because that's what we do.
Well, Disney appears to be in the process of being canceled right now, so that's my happy ending.
Yeah, they lost almost $4 billion yesterday. Subscribers to Hulu, not happy. People subscribing to Disney, not thrilled. Trump can say Kimmel was a failure. He was unfunny. He was terrible.
People love Jimmy Kimmel.
Exactly. Colbert's another one. I know he just picked up a couple Emmys because his show was so rotten and horrible, and what a terrible person.
Mm-hmm.
It's just stupid. If you're listening to that, maybe to Uncle Bill's point there, read a book, man. Go busy yourself doing something else that maybe will make yourself a little better than just being a hater.
Yeah, books are great.
Yeah. Books are coming back.
They're back, baby. Your neighborhood may even have a book box in it. You can pick up a free book.
That's right. People are always willing to share their books.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it works. So I guess on this fine Saturday, that would be a good idea to turn off your tablet, shut down your, just set your phone down, maybe on silence. Do some Duolingo, learn a language, do some reading of your local magazine, newspaper, whatever interests you, maybe some fiction.
If you're a sports fan, do the Daily Grid.
There you go. Love the Daily Grid.
The Daily Grid's great. It's just some of those teams are so challenging. I mean, Detroit Lions. Oh, geez, I don't know. New Orleans Saints. Come on.
Yeah, kind of tough. Well, you got to be a fan.
Well, you do, but it's also a great challenge. So it's a lot of fun.
Well, and it brings engagement because I know I leaned on a couple of buddies to figure out who was a Bronco and a Saint.
Yeah, I mean, Emmanuel Sanders, I keep overlooking him. I overlooked him on the Steelers Saints one, too.
Well, you can't use Fitzpatrick for everything, okay? I know he played for 9 teams.
He fits. Fitzpatrick, Lorenzo Neal, Brian Hoyer. I mean, those guys have been around.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I like your suggestion. I already did my grid for today, so maybe I'll move on.
You did a great job. You nailed it today.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
I will take credit for one, though.
Yeah, well, let's not give it away just in case.
All right.
Smarticus.
Well, we knew his brother, so I had a little inside info there.
Cheap Palcoa. I love it. All right. Well, you still have some time left. Looks like we're going to get some more rain, so maybe get out while you can.
Mm-hmm.
Put down that phone and shut that computer down. Okay, buddy?
Yeah, after you finish watching the podcast.
I was talking to you, man. You're done.
Oh, yeah. Well, and if you've watched this and made it to the end, thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Subscribe, share, all that good stuff. But more importantly, pay attention. Get to know people in your community because ICE was in Chicago yesterday. They were very abusive to a woman that was doing nothing.
Oh my God, that was so maddening to watch. I mean, again, you're all fucking got your camo on, you got all your body armor, you got your helmet, your goggles, your mask over your face, and you're just gonna push and kick a defenseless woman who showed a lot of guts.
Yeah,
she fucking stood up to them. That's the tough guy.
Pepper
These fucking cosplay creeps, yeah.
Shot her with rubber bullets. It was out of control.
It really was. These people are just sick. They're
My
just
point being,
tugs.
It's coming to all our cities. So be prepared. And again, learn to make a friend because you can't do this alone. And even if you think you're in that tribe, check your bank account. I don't think you are.
Yeah, and it's literally going to take all of us to stop this fucking freight train that's coming at us because it's not slowing down.
No, I would agree. Well, on that note, I'm going to let you go, and I better get busy. I better get busy living, as Red used to say, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. All right, buddy. I will catch up with you later.
I'll see you in
Yes.
Or Red Med Andy, yeah.
Yeah, I will see you there, hopefully, if I can get through all this shit I'm waiting for.
Yeah, if we have to call through a river of shit.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, thanks again, and I will talk to you later.
All right, buddy. Good job.
You too. I'll see you.